Hello anyone who's actually watching. Let's be honest, I'll probably never have a consistent intro. But I digress. This video is to give some background and discussion about the woodpecker's knock. Now, normally I like to wait until there are actually some comments on the video before I make one of these, which is why I haven't made any of these. But this story is relatively short and I have a pretty good idea what I want to talk about, so I'm just gonna do it. First things first, if you heard this one just as it was, it probably didn't seem like there was a whole lot to it. In fact, when I was writing it originally, I didn't plan on it being more than that, but a deeper meaning snuck up on me. Hopefully I don't sound too pretentious or arrogant about this. I don't really like talking about myself, but that's kind of what the story is about, really. So, since I was reading this in first person, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to write this, everything else has been in third person, I wanted to put a little bit of myself into it. It turns out, I gave physical form to one of my biggest problems. The character getting distracted with online videos and the woodpecker's pecking are actually related. Now, I want to point out that there's nothing wrong with browsing the internet. Now, I want to point out that there's nothing wrong with browsing the internet sheerly for entertainment. The problem is that that's all that was really happening in my life. I'd put a little work in on projects here or there, but I wasn't really progressing anything. I was just wasting my time barely watching videos. Okay, well that explains why you referred to the character watching pointless online videos, but how the heck does that relate to the woodpecker? Good question, me. I'm glad I asked. Oh, thanks. Don't let it go to your head. So the way they relate is that they're both this kind of noise begging for attention. It's distracting. It keeps me from focusing on things. However, like the creature, it keeps drawing me in. I'm inclined to give in to these distractions even though I know better. And so the end result is similar to that of the story. Except I don't literally get my heart ripped out by some weird woodpecker creature. But I do figuratively lose my heart to these distractions as I fail to progress in my life. I fade not into death, but into a sort of depression as I watch my dreams die. Wow, that got kind of dark. And maybe a bit pretentious? I should put a joke here. Why did the chicken cross the road? Loyalty. Anyways, I suppose that brings us to the final word. Disappointed. Why was the creature disappointed? Originally, I didn't have a reason. It just sort of popped into my head and I just couldn't shake it, so I thought it'd be an interesting point of discussion. Following that, I figured that the creature was disappointed that the kill had been so easy, that it had gone exactly as every other. But applying the metaphor to it, I suppose it's still kind of the same thing. Another one falls short, caught up in the distractions of the world. It's an unfortunately common experience. Again, there's nothing inherently wrong with these distractions, just don't let them control you. Like I did. Do as I say, not as I do? Hey, we're hitting that dark territory again, aren't we? Joke please. Who's there? Now, funnily enough, I had come up with the idea for this story without the influence of a woodpecker. I mean, there wasn't one at the time of the tale's conception. There have been plenty of pecking away at the house over time. However, it was a woodpecker that convinced me to actually write the story. No, the woodpecker didn't tell me to. That would be crazy. It's okay, your secret's safe with me. Originally, I was going to actually wait until spring or so, and I wasn't even planning to do a reading myself. I was just going to try and submit it somewhere in the hopes that someone else would read it and link back to my channel or my website. But as that maddening pecking drove me crazy, I decided it made sense to write it now. And as I wrote it, I realized I wanted to be the one to read it. First-person horror readings are a lot of fun, actually. Go figure. So, yeah, there you go. That's the story behind the Woodpecker's knock. I'll talk a little bit about the video itself yet, but if that doesn't interest you, then thanks for watching, and I hope you'll be back again sometime. Bye! Oh, you're still here. Well, I guess that means I need to talk about the video then. Now, if you actually paid attention to the original video, which I would be very surprised about, you may have noticed a little something. If not, I'll go ahead and show it to you now. If you did notice, I'll try to provide a time to skip to. A chill ran down my spine and my breath came in heavy, ragged draws. I think I might have screamed if I wasn't paralyzed with fear. There, in the window of the old forgotten door, was a creature as black as night, with pale eyes that seemed to just stare off, at a humanoid form except for the long beak jutting out of its face. It was like one of those masks you see from the Black Plague era. The creature raised a hand and curled its claws into a fist before bringing it down against the glass. It gave a series of 3 slow knocks before cocking its head at me. I couldn't move as it stared at me. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to. It crawled along the outer wall like a spider, and the way it moved was unnatural. It continued to watch me as it disappeared past the edge of the window, but even as I lost sight of it, I could still feel its gaze upon me. Without seeing it, I knew exactly where the creature was as it passed the corner of my house. Yep, that was watching you. Okay, so yeah, the animation, not great. I needed to throw in some pauses or something to make it look a little more like actual movement. Also, originally I was planning to have the animation have some kind of weird jump to follow the whole unnatural movement thing, but that didn't look real good. There, in the window of the old forgotten door, was a creature as black as night, with pale eyes that seemed to just stare off, at a humanoid form except for the long beak jutting out of its face. I even wrote a script to do that. Although, one part didn't look too bad. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to. It crawled along the outer wall like a spider, and the way it moved was unnatural. Wasn't exactly what I was going for, though. Now, I probably won't do things like this very often. Adding extra little stuff like animations to the videos, I mean. I might just throw some out every once in a while just to see if people catch them, but that's more what this was for. And honestly, as great as the animation was, I almost hope people didn't notice. But that's really about all I got. Anyways, thank you for watching. Again. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. I hope you found some entertainment in all this, and I hope you'll be back for whatever comes next. Until then, have a great week. Bye.